I didn't grow up afraid of monsters. I grew up learning that cruelty could wear the face of a father, a brother. My father didn't hit me, never had to. He understood something much more effective than beatings, how to destabilize a child from the inside. Words were his weapon, mockery, humiliation dressed up as jokes. Kind of comments that made sure I never felt safe inside my own curiosity or my own skin. We lived on a dairy farm. We didn't own the dairy farm. We rented the house, but there were cows there, and the land held animals, and I loved them. They were my best friends. I was a 4-H kid in Shawano County, Wisconsin. I showed cows, rabbits. I brushed them, talked to them, trusted them. Animals were honest. Animals didn't twist language. Animals didn't hurt you just for fun. And then there were the hamburgers. Hamburgers. We'd sit at the table, and I was still too young to connect the dots that hamburger was a food. Cows were my friends, my companions. My father would grin and lean back in his chair and say things like, "Oh, you're eating your friends. How's Deborah taste?" Deborah was one of my cows. We sold her. I didn't realize she could have been made into a hamburger. Not once. He did this over and over, watching my face change. That was the whole point. Watching confusion turn into pain and then into tears. Watching the innocence inside of me break. That was his entertainment. My dad got off on my pain. That was my childhood. I was the oldest of 3, which meant I learned early that survival looks different in everybody. My sister learned to disappear by filling herself with food. Food became her armor, her weight. Shit, by 5th grade, she was 300 pounds. A way to hide from the world, right? She developed Crohn's disease. My brother learned something else. He absorbed our father's tone, his misogyny, his posture, his entitlement. He learned that masculinity meant domination, that women were objects to correct with cruelty. And that was his power. And me? Shit. I ran away from home. By 13, gone. My body already knew what my mind couldn't yet articulate. This is not a safe place. This will kill you if you stay in this place. So I left, physically first, emotionally later, but I left. For decades, I made excuses for my father. He did the best he could. That's just how he was raised. He didn't know any better. Bullshit. My dad knew exactly what the fuck he was doing when I dressed up as a 10-year-old girl in a pretty dress. And when I came downstairs, he looked at me and said, "Wow, Mary, you clean up pretty good for an ugly girl." My dad. "Hey, Mary, you clean up pretty good for an ugly girl. My whole life I've thought I was ugly because of my fucking bio dad, the sperm donor. Fuck you, Keith. Fuck you." Let me see this real clearly for anyone who needs to fucking hear it. Explaining abuse is not the same as excusing it. Okay? Understanding context does not require self-betrayal. And then came 2024, 2016, the year the mask came off. Not just nationally, but personally for our country and our fucking misogynistic fathers. When a known predator was elected to the so-called People's House, my father voted for him. Not accidentally, not reluctantly, but proudly with his whole fucking chest. I hadn't talked to him in 4 months, but he had to message me to tell me that he voted for the fucking rapist. Because he knew it would get a rise out of me. He voted against my body, my rights, my safety, my humanity. And in that moment, I snapped clean away from my father and the men in my life. Because suddenly the line from my childhood made sense. The same man who delighted in upsetting the little girl had grown into a man who aligned himself with systems that harm women, children, and anyone who isn't like him. A fat fucking lazy ass pig with a little bit of entitlement in his chest. Right, Keith? Because that's who the fuck you are. Racist, small, emotionally illiterate, you fucking fuck. And proof of it, that was the day I stopped lying to myself about my father. He's a racist fucking bigot. Blood does not make a man safe. No. Shared DNA does not equal fucking love. And access is not entitlement. Nah. So I walked away for good, and here's where people get uncomfortable because they want forgiveness without accountability, reconciliation without repair, family unity at the cost of the woman's sanity, right? No. I didn't run from family. I ran toward my survival, toward my healing, which is how I ended up in the cult, Narcotics Anonymous. Because when you grow up without safety, you'll cling to structure wherever it promises relief to you. NA gave me a language for pain, but stole my sovereignty. Replaced my father with another authority figure, another hierarchy, another system where obedience was rewarded and questioning them was punished. Same pattern, different packaging. And when I finally saw that, when I finally realized I had traded one form of control for another, I left again, this time consciously. Went to Penn State, master's program, this time awake and aware. And then something radical happened. In 2023, I met a man who was safe. What? A man that's the same birth month as my father, a Taurus. My dad and the Texans' birthdays are 5 days apart. Not performative safe, not nice. The Texan isn't safe, he's kind. Not fragile, safe, actual safety. The Texan, his presence is sacred masculinity. He doesn't need to say a word, but you know he'll get shit done if it needs to be. A safe man. A man who listens without correcting, who doesn't flinch at my truth, who understands the system is broken and he doesn't take it as a personal attack that I'm doing the matriarch movement. He doesn't take it as a personal attack that I have a fucking song called These Men Ain't Shit, because he understands unsafe men aren't shit. A man who doesn't need dominance to feel whole, who supports my voice, my rage, my healing, my mission without trying to own it or silence me. That kind of safety rewrites the nervous system. It rewrote my nervous system, his love. And that's where the healing lives, not in forgiveness, but in regulation. My father's a piece of shit. I won't have nothing to do with him. In consistency, in being believed, in being heard, and in being listened to by the Texan, and being protected without being controlled. That's true safety. I'm an Aquarius, man. January 26th, visionary, system breaker, truth speaker. It's what I do. I was never too much. I was just born into spaces that were too small for me. Today I'm healing by telling the truth out loud, by naming the harm, by refusing reconciliation theater with family members that are not safe, by choosing chosen family over bloodline trauma, by using my words not to survive anymore, but to change things, by using my education and my mind. I don't want revenge. I want a world where little girls are not toys for emotional sadists, where boys are taught empathy, not entitlement, where women don't have to run to survive. My father does not get access to me anymore. He lost that right. And I'm not angry about it. I'm free. But if you think you can silence the women that are emerging to break the patriarchal systems that harm women, you're sadly fucking mistaken. Because the little girls that you didn't listen to and the little girls you picked on and the little girls that you raped, we all grew up fucking vicious.